Trucker Dump for May 17th, 2012, episode 85. Time to step up and help some fellow truckers.
Welcome to Trucker Dump, where you'll get one driver's insights and sometimes humorous views of truck driving and the trucking industry, and pretty much anything else he feels like dumping on you. This podcast is brought to you by AboutTruckDriving.com. Resources to help you understand the world of truck driving through the use of stories and a pathetic attempt at humor.
Howdy folks, Todd McCann here. Man oh man, I guess I'm just into expanding my repertoire lately. Gonna head out into some more uncharted territory today. You know, we Christians are supposed to be a loving, caring people. At least that's what the Bible teaches. Yet I find myself not really rising to the occasion most of the time. Well, I'm going to make a lame stab at redeeming myself today. I hope you'll do the same. Today, it's time to step up and help some fellow truckers. Man, am I on a roll with the titles or what? And oh yeah, this may be another noisy one. I'm parked right by the fuel bays, so keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't get too crazy. Onward. Ever been in need and wish someone could help you out? Well, that's where a couple of our fellow truckers are right now. They need our help, so it's time to step up, folks. The people in question are Lou Obadal and Heather Pontroff. God, I hope I pronounced you guys' names right. I just know them from Twitter. I've never spoken to either one of them. So what's going on? Well, Lou has had back pains for months, but being the macho trucker, like we all think we are, and needing the money, he toughed it out and kept driving until it totally took him down. Now, I'm no doctor, but it has something to do with a couple of herniated discs. That just sounds painful. So we're looking at a case of bad timing here, folks. No insurance, no workman's comp, and to take the proverbial knee to the junk, the company they worked for canceled their contract after Lou got injured. Ah, yeah, there's nothing quite like an employer who sees you through the hard times. For the full story, check out Heather's article, cleverly titled, "Your Back Doesn't Always Have Your Back." That article can be found on her website, that's thetruckersvoice.net, or I'll have a link in the show notes for you. If you're a super generous person and you've already decided to donate to the cause, well, God bless you. If you need convincing as to why you should help Lou and Heather out, the price you pay is having to listen on. Actually, I hope you do. So why should we help Lou and Heather? Well, because there's that whole do unto others thing to consider. There's also the fact that they're fellow truckers, and if we can't take care of our own, then who will? Well, wait a second here. Actually, Lou is the official trucker, but anyone who knows Heather knows she's really a trucker too. She may not do the actual driving, but she rides along with Lou, takes care of most of the business stuff, and still manages to do lots of good in this world. What kind of good? Well, I'm glad you asked. First of all, let me say that Lou and Heather had absolutely nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Knowing them, they'd probably be shocked and humbled by it. All they asked of me was that I help spread the word by retweeting the link to their fundraising site. There's a link to that in the show notes. While I am doing that whenever I get a chance, I think these two truckers deserve a whole blog post. And let me tell you why. 1. Because Lou and Heather are funny. Just check out Heather's YouTube channel for verification on that. My personal favorite is the one where Heather is tormenting a totally wasted Lou. Funny stuff. There's links to Heather's YouTube channel and that particular video in the show notes. 2. Because they're nice folks. For instance, Heather can have a completely opposite viewpoint from you and still carry on a civilized conversation that doesn't turn into name-calling. Case in point, we both think each other's spiritual beliefs are nuts, but we can have heated debates about it and still walk away friends. Not being a meanie is always a plus in my book. 3. Because Heather speaks out for truckers. I especially appreciate the fact that she writes in-depth, well-researched articles about today's trucking issues. And that means yours truly doesn't have to do any research. I can just wait until she posts an article on her website, truckersvoice.net, and then retweet it with the words, "Yeah, what she said," tacked onto the end of it. 4. Because they're our Twitter buds. I know Heather's active on Facebook and other social websites too. Check out her website for all the places you can find her. Again, there's a link to her website in the show notes. While Heather does do most of the tweeting, Lou pops in every now and then. What is it with husbands and boyfriends that don't tweet anyway? Perhaps Heather and @RaySunshine77 could explain this phenomenon to us. I'd ask at Chris and Casey too, but Casey seemed to have dropped off the face of the planet. She even canceled her Twitter account. I'm hoping the boys at the space station will snag her with one of those cool robotic arm doohickey things before she slips past them. 5. Because they are two of the most generous people I know. In 2010, they started an organization called Trucking Santas to help provide a decent Christmas for families who weren't going to have one. As part of this program, they also adopted 3 facilities within the United Cerebral Palsy of Central Maryland. Boy, that's a mouthful. There's links to the Truckin' Santas and the United Cerebral Palsy thing in the show notes. They tweeted some heartwarming pictures of their visits to these facilities last Christmas season. Now, how many of us can say we've done that? Don't expect me to raise my hand. I'm busy twiddling my thumbs, looking around nonchalantly, and whistling. So what do you think? Are Lou and Heather worth dipping into your checkbook a little bit? I sure think so. You don't have to give a lot, but I'm sure there won't be any complaints if you do. I'm sure anything would be appreciated. You can be a proud sponsor when you donate, or do it anonymously. You can even hide the amount you give. Better hurry, though. The fundraiser ends on May 27th. Quite frankly, if I'd realized it ended that soon, I'd have done this earlier. My bad. But please don't let my procrastination issues keep you from helping to reach their goal. They're just over halfway there. Just go and donate now. There's a link in the show notes to the donate site. And please pass the word along to whatever social networks you belong to. Let's get this puppy moving.
Hey, yo, bud, where do you want this load of feedback?
Onward to feedback from my beloved listeners and readers. That would be you guys. These comments would be about the show about Payload. That's the reality show that they were doing a casting call for. Now, I didn't really know what to expect about a show that was about a show that was a casting call. I didn't know what kind of comments I was going to get. What I wasn't expecting was this. Rose L says, "Well, what are you waiting for? I think you're quite clever, entertaining, and creative. Go for it." Well, Rose, I'm at least one of those things. Clever enough to know I'd be a giant bore on a reality TV show. Helmet or Heels says, "I agree with Rose, so are you putting together a video?" Oh, Helmet or Heels, I have no plans to apply for the show. As you well know from following me on Twitter, I'm a pretty boring guy for the most part. I eat the same food inside my truck every day, I rarely get out of my truck to go exploring, and I hate confrontation or drama of any kind. I'm really not all that competitive minded either. Now, does that sound like someone who'd make a reality show more exciting? I didn't think so. I'm glad you think I'd be good, but I'll have to pass. And then Christy Coupler jumped on the bandwagon too. She says, "I think Todd should definitely apply for this. He's my favorite blogger. He shares health tips on YouTube. He isn't too terrible on the eyes. I vote for the Todd Father." Oh, Christy, I don't think I've ever actually LOL'd and blushed at the same time. I think that might be the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me, barring my mom and the evil over... No, just my mom. Seriously, thanks for the nice words. Now I have some parting words for you. It's time to make an appointment at LensCrafters. Clearly, you're having trouble seeing text and images. Well, Christy wrote back and said she has submitted her app. Well, go Christy, I'm rooting for you. And lastly, driver Chris MC on Twitter says, "Wow, did they pay you for this advertisement? They probably paid too much. LMFAO." And as for that prime truck at Full Throttle crack, well, you're my friend, so I'll be nice. It was totally uncalled for, but I was LMFAO, so it's all good, brother. No, Chris, I wasn't paid for this blog post. I did it because the casting director wrote me an email and asked if I could help spread the word. Since I've got a big old squishy heart, I was more than happy to help. Not to mention that I didn't have to put much thought into it. And as for that slow prime truck crack, well, frankly, I'm a little pissed at your assumption that it was aimed at you. You know I'd never do that to a friend. Well, thanks, guys. I really wasn't expecting people to just hop on here and tell me to do it. I was doing it so all of you interesting people would get out there and put your application in. By the way, we still haven't heard anything on who is the winners of these and who's going to be the contestants on it. As soon as I find out, I will be letting you guys know in upcoming comments section. So thanks as always for writing. You can write me, you can send audio comments, however you want to do it. And here is the way you contact me. Okay, I know most of you pause the podcast and you've already gone and donated to the cause, right? Okay, people. Well, all is not lost. If you're listening to this past the May 27, 2012 fundraising deadline, you can still donate by going to truckersvoice@gmail.com and using PayPal. That is spelled TRKRS voice@gmail.com. Once again, I can't really think of anything to ask comments for. If you need links to anything in today's podcast, you can email me at truckerdump@gmail.com. You can also reach me on Twitter where I'm at Todd McCain. That's 2 D's, 2 C's, and 2 N's. Well, thanks for listening. So until next time, drive safe and stay out of my way.